Welcome back to part 2 of the magazine cover exercise. In this part, we're going to learn how to add our text, and we are going to add a star clipping mask to the text as well. So to start off, we're going to use the type tool. I'm going to go ahead and set my fonts before I start typing. So I want it to be set to Futura. The weight should be set to medium. Your font size should be set to 24. Your text alignment should be set to left align. And we're going to set our text color to white. Sometimes your text size might readjust. You want to manually just go in and change that back to what it should be. I'm going to click on the Adam Levine layer only so my text goes on top of it. And I'm going to use touch type this time because I'm only going to type a few words. So I'm going to just click to type, move my mouse over, and immediately I'm going to start typing. Our first word is going to be all caps, shoot. It looks like Photoshop glitched a little bit and it changed my font size back to a 6. So I'm going to double click the word shoot to highlight it. And then I'm going to change that font back to 24. Now I'm going to go back to my move tool. I'll place this right about here on his chest. We are going to move it later. And I'm going to make a copy of the shoot layer now. You can choose to duplicate it from up here. I'm going to just hold Option on my keyboard and click and drag it to make a copy. Now I'm going to change the word from shoot at the bottom to stars. The whole thing is going to say shoot for the stars, but we're going to have the middle part as a different font. So now I'll go back to my move tool. And I'm going to copy this one more time and place it right in the middle. So I'll hold Option. I'll click and drag. And now I have the word stars again in the center. I'm going to double click this, and instead of stars in all lowercase, I'm going to type for the. Then I'll highlight the text. We're going to change it to the font called Brush Script, MT. We're going to change the font size to a 10. And then I'm going to start moving things around to adjust and arrange my text. Just like that. The next step is going to be to add something called a clipping mask. We're going to add an image of stars that are black and white, and it's going to clip to the word stars right over here. So I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded. I'm going to find my image of stars. It's called startexture.jpg that I downloaded from Schoology. And I'm going to place that here. Then I'm going to resize it so it's big enough to cover the word stars. I want it to completely cover the word stars. And then I'll check mark it to confirm. You need to make sure that the star texture layer is right on top of the stars type layer. And we're going to turn it into a clipping mask by right-clicking the word star texture and then clicking Create Clipping Mask from the list. And you'll see that it clips to the word stars over here. You'll also see that the word stars on the type layer is outlined. That indicates that it has a clipping mask attached to it. And you'll also see the star texture layer now has an arrow pointing down, indicated that it is being clipped with the layer underneath it. Finally, we are going to go ahead and add layer effects. So layer effects are non-permanent changes to your layers that you can turn on and off that include things like stroke, bevel and emboss, and color overlay. So we're going to click on our stars layer. We're going to go to the FX at the bottom of our layer panel. And then we're going to click the word stroke. we are gonna add a thin white stroke around the word stars because right now it's not very legible. So right here where it says color, I'm gonna click that box and set it to white. And we're gonna change our stroke size to 1. 2 was a little bit too thick, but this is otherwise where you would set your stroke settings. We are also going to add a color overlay. So instead of just a black image, we're gonna make it appear to be blue, and it's gonna start a blue theme for us. So I'm gonna go over to color overlay and click on it. Clicking on it will check mark the box here. We're gonna set our blend mode color to kind of a dark blue, right around there. We're gonna press OK, and we're gonna set the blend mode for the color overlay to overlay. I know that's a little confusing. And we'll set our opacity all the way up. And now we're gonna press OK. So now it appears that this stars clipping mask is blue, but I could always turn these effects off by just clicking the eyeball next to the word effects. We are also going to add a black outline to the words shoot and for the, because later on, just in case we want to move it around, we want it to still be visible even if the background's white. So I'm going to go to the shoot layer, click FX, and then click stroke. I'm going to add a 1 pixel thick black stroke. So I'll change the color from white to black. And make sure your blend mode is set to normal with opacity at 100. Then I'm going to press OK. I'm just going to copy this layer style for shoot and paste it to the for the text layer. So I'll right click the word shoot, and I'm going to click copy layer style. So this is going to copy the layer effects that I just added to it. Then I'll find for the, right click, and click paste layer style. So it'll add the exact same thing there. Now finally, we are going to turn these 3 layers into a smart object so they all move together and take up a little bit less space. To do that, we're gonna select the top layer for the, and we're gonna make sure that we get 1, 2, 3, and 4. All 4 of these layers in the smart object. I'm gonna hold the shift key and I'm gonna click shoot, which should select all 4 of your layers at the same time. Then I'm gonna right click the name of the layer on one of them, and I'm gonna click convert to smart object. And just so I know what this is, I'm gonna rename it to shoot for the stars. Now everything that I just did has not disappeared. If I actually double click inside of this smart object icon, it's gonna open a new file for me. It's called a .psb. And you can actually come back in and make whatever changes you want to it. So if I turn the star effects off and then I save my changes, file save. The moment that I close this, it's gonna update the smart object in the actual file. So I'm actually gonna go back and turn it on again. I'll double click the smart object. I'll click the visibility eye for effects, and then I'll save it one more time and close it. The last thing that we're gonna do here is we are going to change the GQ color to a dark blue, just like we did for stars. I'm gonna go ahead and click the GQ logo. I'm gonna go to FX, just like I did before, and I'm gonna find color overlay. I'm gonna choose a color that I like, and I'm gonna set my blend mode to normal first. I think that's a pretty decent blue, but maybe I'll make it a little bit darker. Closer to that. I recommend copying this hex code because it's going to come in handy later on as well. You can also click Add to Swatches. Make sure that Add to My Current Library is checked off. Otherwise, it'll add to your cloud library. And then we're going to press OK. And we're going to see that in our swatches panel right here. That's it for this video. In the next one, I'll show you guys how to add our last pieces of text, as well as how to add blue rectangles for our text. See you in the next one.